Yeah, hello guys. So in this video, I'm going to walk through Indian pharmaceutical industry, and I'm going to try and convince you on why you should consider investing in Indian pharma industry, right? So before getting into this video, if you have not already checked why similar kind of video on why you should consider investing in Indian specialty chemical industry, you should probably check this video out. To get it is going to be a similar deep dive thing. So yeah, let's get started. So yes, so pharmaceutical market, let's first check the market size, right? The global pharmaceutical market size is valued at $400 billion as of 2020, and it is expected to grow at a compounded annual rate of 11.34% from 2021 to 28, right? So yeah, this sector has a massive transformation and has undergone a massive transformation with emergence of new technology, cost-effective and efficient manufacturing process, all those things. Right. So this is a global overview of the market, manufacturing or total pharma market. It is right now at 400 billion. Right. So there are a lot of insightful information in this research article. So you can actually take a look for in-depth details. Right. I'm not going. Yeah, these are all the. This is a scope report scope actually of the entire pharma sector. Right now, let's jump into the API industry or the pharma industry in China. Right, API is as a part of pharma industry. API, what API is like? API means active pharmaceutical ingredient, right? So these are the key ingredients that deliver the or the drug itself, right? That is the API. Right, so let's go through this article. This article talks about the China's position in global API market and how India is trying to compete and be a consumer of China. Right, India is both a competitor and consumer of China in pharma industry. Yes, let's go through this. Let's go through the key points. Right, API produced and exported by China account 40% of the global provision. Right, so around 40% is produced by China and it is exported by China. So China is right now having the hegemony. They are having the upper hand in API industry, right? Yes. So yeah, if you see the numbers according to the healthcare analysis results, healthcare analysis worldwide outsourced. See, consider this is just an outsourced value, right? This is not the entire value. Worldwide outsourced manufacturing market reached $71 billion in 2015 and is growing steadily. Right. So compared to India or Europe, China is best at bulk manufacturing and of unbranded chemical APIs. Right. This is a chart of which categories, which countries dominate. Right. In chemical APIs, it is China, hands down, due to its bulk size and low cost of manufacturing. Right. The issues like mostly are unpatented, it is not USFDA approved or whatever it is, right? These formulations need to be approved by authorities and and needs to be patented at their country, right? So those are the problems there. If we go to generic APIs, it is India right now. Again, it is due to the low added value, bulk size, all those things, right? If we go to biological APIs, it is Europe, and originator APIs, it is Europe, right? So yeah, see, so this again is the next point. China is the world's largest manufacturer or producer of pharmaceutical ingredients. Globally speaking, chemical and generic APIs account for 70% of global API. See, out of total API, the chemical and generic accounts 70%, right? I'm sorry, yes. Sorry, I think I had clicked the wrong link. Yes. So account to 70%, while biotech APIs account to remaining 30%, as we just saw in this segmentation of APIs chart, right? China is the source of 40% of global APIs, right? In 2017, let's get to this point. Global API market was 156 billion, and Chinese chemical manufacturers held a total of $500 billion, which corresponds to $75 billion. Right, global API market is like $500 billion, 15 billion, $150 billion. I'm sorry, and China holds like more than 50%. That means China has like 68.3 chemical API market share, right? Chemical API. Yes. So where are they exporting to? Their main customers are Asia and Europe, right? In particularly Asia, India is one of the biggest importer. India imports Chinese APIs and tries to manufacture these into generic drugs and then sell it to US, UK, and European countries, right? US and European countries. That is what India does currently. Yeah, see, leading Chinese API export destinations by country. You can see India here, Southeast Asian nations. They are like another big importer, and outside Asia, you can see Europe. India is like one of the biggest in Asia, and other Southeast Asian countries combined together forms this 4161 volume, 1000 tons, right? Yes, but in terms of value, if you see, India is going to be like the highest in Asia, right? Yes. So let's get to the next point. AP takes up the 80, it takes up 81% of total value of Chinese pharmaceutical exports. So you consider this: if Chinese are exporting $100 billion of drugs, around $81 billion, it is APIs, right? It is not finished drugs. APIs are not finished drugs. APIs are like ingredients. For example, if you're making a pizza or something, so the ingredients, the flour, the sauce, tomatoes, the spices that you put in are you're like APIs, right? Right. So China is accounted for 81% or 30 billion of over 37 billion of their total value. So in total, China exports around $37 billion of pharma equipments or pharma products. Out of that, around $30 billion come from their API exporting, right? So yeah, this just talks about exports, not the internal usage of products or internal sales of products, pharma products, right? Keep that in mind. Yes. So this is the chart of the same. APIs contribute to 80% of their income, export income, right? So yeah, when it comes to API exporters in China, private companies take the lead. All those things, yeah, fine. So right now here is another important point. Next point. India is both the competitor and customer of API industry in China. It suggests that 70 to 80% of APIs are imported to US are from China and India, right? So yeah, India is again a fierce competitor in API production. So this is another important point. India is by far the world champion of drug master files, right? What are drug master files? Drug master files are like voluntary submissions of to the import country authority and contain confidential information about human drug products, right? APIs belong to type 2 of DMF, which is considered which is concerned with drug substance, right? So China holds around 12% of DMFs, but India holds around almost half of them, right? India is like the champion. So this is a good sign for us. Yes, this builds a lot of trust with the US, and it paves way for manufacturing or more export in APIs, right? This is a good point. Yeah, so these are another key other key points, right? See, if you see the American DMF holders, India accounts for like 46%, right? See, this is the next point. India relies heavily on China for API imports. This is the problem that we are facing currently in India, right? India, if API, if China for some on one day, on one fine day cuts out the imports, then we are done, right? But that might not happen. But yeah, it's just a caution, right? India imports valued at $3.5 billion per year, of which 70%, $2.5 billion are produced and exported by China, right? We only manufacture around 30% of our API requirement, and rest 70% is coming from China. This is where it is going to the thing is going to change for India. It's going to be a game changer, right? As you saw, Chinese Chinese API industry is alone like $150 billion, right? Yes. So Chinese pharma industry is alone by is $150, right? So yeah. So the pain points with China is like there is this API China plus one policy, which is like forcing US and Western partners to shift their manufacturing bases from China due to this is mainly due to stringent regulations in China and emission controls imposed by the government, and it is trying to the supply chain disruption, forcing of companies, and one COVID policy, zero COVID policy. All these are like being an hindrance to manufacturing, and manufacturers are like forced to cut down on their manufacturing due to their emission norms, pollution regulations, all those things, right? So it's slowly becoming a big pain point for the entire world. I mean, China is anyway the world's manufacturing hub. It is China, no doubt about it. But all the Western countries are planning to have another contingency plan wherein they'll have China. They'll still import from China, but there will be another country they would like to pick for in case of a backup, right? Or not to have full reliance on China, right? Because China may falter anytime, or let's say if a war comes between some Western country and China, and whatever that is happening in Ukraine, Russia might happen to Russia. I mean, might happen to Western countries, right? For example, Russia cut down their Nord Stream 1 pipeline, which supplies gas to Europe, right? Likewise, something can happen. They don't want to risk their market, so they are planning to de-risk on every sector, almost all the sectors, right? So that is your China plus one policy, and that is where India is going to benefit a lot, right? So let's go to the next thing, right? So this is again another article wherein it says this Dr. Sanjay Chaturvedi, CEO of IOL Chemicals and Pharmaceuticals, one of the big companies in India, says around 70% of APIs are imported from China, and we are working towards filling this gap, right? So India is planning to instead of heavily relying on China, India is working on a plan to manufacture the APIs in local, so that the cost can be reduced and the import or the export competitiveness can be improved, right? Yeah. So this article again goes through how this particular company is planning to de-risk its business, right? The AOL chemicals is like mainly a single drug, or it mainly has this one strong drug called ibuprofen, which it exports, and the entire company relies on its sales, and it accounts to 30% of world's ibuprofen market, right? They sell around 30% of world ibuprofen, right? So yes, API market was valued at $300 billion in 2021. Yeah, it's expected to reach around $550 billion by 2029, right? So yeah, China caters to around 70% of Indian, all the things we already saw, right? So few points I want to like highlight here is like yeah. So these are all fine. See this one point. Volatile nature of changing global scenario worsened by Russia-Ukraine conflict has impacted the overall pharma industry. We had faced cost challenges on several fronts throughout the year, strained supply chains, all those things, right? So has led to a notable increase in energy prices, right? Ukraine-Russia conflict. Yes, these are all some of the problems with current pharma industry, right? What is holding back against India is heavily dependent on other countries for API, and yes, yeah, in the domain of APIs and related DIs and KSMs, the PLA scheme in Indian pharmaceutical industry has been a significant step in boosting the domestic manufacturing and reducing import dependency. This is one of the important points, right? India is taking the right steps. India is taking the right steps in like taking a good share or grabbing the opportunity right now, right? Yes. So this is this article. So next article I'm going to like explain on why foreign investors are looking for investments in Indian API business, right? So let's go through this firm called Marcellus Investments, which is led by Saurabh Mukherjee, is doubling its bet on Divi's Laboratories, one of the top active pharma ingredients or pharma ingredients manufacturers in India, right? So yeah, these are all some good signs that are coming in local. Uh, yeah, so talking about APIs, it's pretty clear that this is one important point, I guess. It's pretty clear that America wants to freeze China out of the whole digital ecosystem, whether it is semiconductors, AI, and as a result, foreign investors are keen to see just how much how much of API industry, right? Remember, China's API industry is 9 times larger as India. right? They are planning to de-risk their business, as it said, due to the China plus one policy. Yeah, India has like a good capability in manufacturing, but yeah, a lot of capex spend has to go through, and companies are actually doing it right now. Yes. So because of that, most likely a few, at least $100 billion, or I cannot quote any numbers here, but a significant chunk of or import from China might move to India, right? This is a good opportunity. So it's again a positive sign here, since foreign investors are looking to invest in Indian AP business, right? So this is another article from Times of India. It says like opportunity for Indian API industry in coming decade, right? So yeah. Right now, India is considered as a pharma of the world because it produces bulk drugs, or it produces generic drugs. But the problem is like it imports most of its, or 70% of its APIs from China, which is a bad sign. That is where we need to work on, right? See, they need to develop this was felt in last 2 years. They need to develop an alternative source, right? China had designed environmental policies to conserve the environment. Just as the world was getting used to these environmental policies, COVID-19 hit. As the world was grappling with pandemic, many countries, including China, closed down borders, supply chains stagnated. It is now imperative that world needs to have an alternative source of bulk drugs. India, which is already a leader in formulation space, was well placed to use this opportunity and emerge as an alternative source, right? So seizing the opportunity, the government announced its incentives and PLI schemes, all those things. So this is again a good sign. The pressure is being felt across West. So it's a good opportunity that India is grabbing right now. Yes. Again, you can go through this article. This again talks about what are all the opportunities. It goes through the Indian PLI schemes, high skill talent, all those things, right? Yeah, I'll again link this article down below. So the next surprising thing that has happened in last 2 weeks is like Divi's Lab, which is like one of the top five manufacturers or top 10 manufacturers in India, API manufacturers in India, or pharma manufacturers in India, are like down by 11% as Q3 numbers leave investors disappointed. Why did this happen? I'm not sure about what is happening, but this price action movement is normal, right? It can still bounce back to 20%, but yeah, people who were greedy at that time are now out. So the correction has happened quite a bit, right? 11% is a significant drop, right? Yes. So the reason was like the net profit dropped 66% to 300 crores for the third quarter, as against 900 crores in the same quarter last year. This is one worrying sign, but still we'll have to track this company. Only then we'll get to know whether it can bounce back, or what was the spend there, or was it a loss, or how was the sales, all those things, right? So without that we cannot come to a conclusion, right? But this is you need not worry about this 11%, right? It is as you've seen till now, the market is bright, or the opportunity is bright for India to become one of the major API manufacturing countries, right? If that is going to happen, then Divi's is going to have a good opportunity of improving their numbers, right? Yes. So this is what it says. The why it lost the average. The why it was down, and why people started panicking on this company. All those things, right? Yeah. So one another thing I would like to this is like see, this is the point. API manufacturing companies see a rise in need in the Indian pharmaceutical industry, right? India's demand is growing according to API manufacturers. You can go through this link, right? This is Apex Healthcare India's link, right? With Western businesses looking to diversify into Asian markets, the nation is becoming more significant. As a result, these business and other export industries of agriculture and medicine have seen a growth, right? Quality Solution is one of the leading API manufacturing companies in India, right? Quality Solutions. You can check it out. Yes. So it again talks about, this is a big article. It talks about the Indian API manufacturing companies in India. You can again go through this. Again, we have covered almost all points, I guess. Yeah. Um, so it talks about contract manufacturing organizations, all those things, right? Well, it talks about the future of Indian pharma industry, the government schemes that are trying to help the companies, all those things, right? Yes. So right now, let us again talk about the Divi's laboratory case. Right now, I've opened screener. In that, we are seeing Divi's laboratories. I'm just trying to understand. We'll again go through. We'll go through why it felt 11%. Is it logical, or is there a real problem with the company? We'll actually try and dig down on this, right? See, so it says it has like 74,000 crore market cap, right? So your ROC looks good. See, this is your return on capital employed, right? Anything above 50% is a good sign, right? So yes, this is your recent dip that has happened in last week, right? It was trading around 3385 and it got dropped to 2800 or 2791. If you see your cons and pros sections, you'll get good detail. It has reduced debt. It is almost debt free, delivering good profit growth, CAGR of 22%, all those things, right? Dividend payout is 28%, all those things. Let's go to sales next. So if you see, there is no major drop in sales, right? There has been a slight downturn, but it is fine, right? Right, operating profits, I can see they are shrinking, but yeah, we'll have to track for a longer period of time to get a sense of is there a real problem with the company, right? But as you can see, sales are going good. Operating profit margin is like fluctuating, but still, yeah, it's been 34, 41, 43 to 36, right? Yes, you can see again net profit hovering around the same levels. Yeah, yes, here is like an important thing to note, I guess. So the cash from operating activity is 2000 crores approx, and they have invested like they have borrowed more and invested more, and now the cash flows are negative, right? So if we dig down on this, you can see fixed assets purchased is 700 crores, and other investing items is 1500 crores. This again we'll need to get a good clarity of what other investing items mean, right? Yeah, apart from that, I can see fixed asset purchases like 700 crores. This will include their factories, equipments, manufacturing capability, or improving technology, all those things, right? So again, your ROC is like growing at a steady rate, right? So they are able to bring out whatever your money that you are investing, right? Yeah, which is a good sign. Apart from that, promoters like hold a constant amount, and FIIs are like right now are reducing their reliance, right? Yes. Apart from that, DAAs are like grasping up more, right? I can see from 19 to 20. Yeah, this is fine. Again, you can go through this document of this con call transcript to get a more info on what is currently happening inside the country. I'm sorry, inside the company, right? So all in all, it is a good time to invest in pharma sector. That's what this is not a recommendation. This is not a buy recommendation, but yeah, think about this. India has a huge chance. India has a good chance to grasp up the industry or grasp up the people who are moving out of China, and China plus one policy is helping India in its manufacturing capabilities. Our export capabilities are going to improve for India, right? Opportunities, I mean, export opportunities are going to improve. So you can in next 2-3 years, it should be a good. It should be at a steady number, right? Yeah, that's all for this video. Thank you.